I believe that certain video games can cause violence among children. Games such as Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, and Battlefield.
Bad things are happening to young kids and young minds, and their minds are being formed. And we have to do something about maybe what they're seeing and how they're seeing it, and also video games. I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts.
In 2016, as CNBC reports, a gunman killed 9 people in Munich, Germany. The teen was an avid player of Call of Duty, and that has been linked to the shooting.
Overall, the meta-analysis showed that playing violent video games seems to temporarily increase aggressive behaviors, thoughts, and feelings, as well as desensitize people to violence and decrease empathy. They also found some long-term effects, although not as many studies looked at that. But not all research has shown negative results. Plus, some papers have shortcomings with their methods, like comparing a violent action shooter to a non-violent puzzle game, even though they're completely different genres.
According to a CNN article, a psychological group reports that more than 90% of children in the United States play video games. Among kids between the ages 12 and 17, the number rises to 97%. More important, 85% or more of the video games on the market contain some sort of violence. The titles seem to say it all: Manhunt, Thrill Kill, Gears of War, and Mortal Kombat. However, even the seemingly perfect Pokemon Go requires players to go into battle. The American Psychological Association observed an August 2015 policy statement that research demonstrated a link between violent video games use and both increases in aggressive behavior and decreases in pro-social behavior, empathy, and moral engagement. 60% of middle school boys and girls who played at least one mature-rated game hit up or beat somebody, compared to 39% and 14% of girls who did not play M-rated games. Christopher Ferguson, an associate professor and co-chairman of the Department of Psychology at Stenson University, goes so far to suggest that violent video games may help reduce societal violence rather than increase it. Basically, by keeping young males busy with things they like, and this would include everything from playing sports, collecting stamps, and playing first-person shooter games, you keep them off the streets and out of trouble, he said.
Officials saying these violent movie videos very, very potentially dangerous. Samuel Zeif is still with us. He survived the shooting at the Stoneman Douglas High School. You grew up with a lot of these video games. What's your reaction when you hear the president say that?
My friends and I have been playing video games our whole life, and never, ever, and seeing, of course, violent movies, being kids, but never have we ever felt driven or provoked by those actions in those games to do something as horrible as this. I don't think anyone is. It's a video game. Something happens, you restart. We know that's not how life is. And I think it's a distraction. The president's trying to distract us. He
also clarified his position on arming school teachers. You're going to be going back to school in the coming days, and he specifically said what he was talking about last night at the CNN town hall. He said, look at the possibility of giving concealed guns to gun-adept teachers with military or special training experience. Only the best 20% of the teachers. What do you think about having some of your school teachers, your high school teachers, be armed with concealed weapons?
Well, it's right there in the question. They're teachers. They are not soldiers. They did not go to school to learn how to mold the lives of the future, to have to be faced with the responsibility of knowing whether or not they get into a fight with a student, an argument with that student that day, and maybe they think the student is a little more sensitive than they expected, and the student reaches in his backpack for a pencil or a notebook, and they think they're reaching for a gun. So they act first and act on them.
Your high school's reopening next week. You're supposed to go back to school. How do you feel about that? Honestly,
it's scary to go back to where 17 people I saw every day were murdered. But I'm also doing it. I'm going to go back. I'm doing it for them because they would want me to go back and be strong, and they can't go back.